Hey guys, it's Charmise Idris here, and today on my channel we will be making shower steamers. I do have another recipe for shower steamers, but this one here is different because I did use kaolin clay. I decided to start using kaolin clay for my shower steamers because I feel like it makes them last just a little bit longer in the shower, and they're definitely harder when I have to ship them or something like that, so they're less likely to break than my other previous recipes. So let's just go ahead and get into it. Alright guys, so this recipe can actually be made in a cavity mold, but it can also be made in a press mold, which is what I'll be using today. So this one actually came from the maker shop over on Etsy. It's the shampoo bar mold, and it is 2.25 inches in diameter. I know you can't see that. I don't know why I did that. But yes, it's the shampoo bar mold, and I will put the link in the description below. Cotton molds on Etsy is also another great go-to. I will be decorating these with calendula today, but feel free to use mica if you want to use mica. Here's the recipe for the shower steamers. It includes 1 cup of baking soda, a half a cup of citric acid, 1/8 cup of kaolin clay, 1/2 teaspoon of fragrance, and then 1 teaspoon of witch hazel. So the first thing I start with is combining the dry ingredients, which is the baking soda, the clay, and the citric acid, and I do use a strainer just because I don't like the clumps. You may be wondering why I choose to use cups and spoons to measure my ingredients instead of weighing it, but that's the way I've always done for shower steamers and bath bombs. Whether I'm making 9 or 500, I still use my cups and spoons. But when I do drop that bath bomb recipe, I will weigh it out for you guys. After I've combined my dry ingredients, I will go ahead and mix it all together thoroughly, and then I will add my wet ingredients, including the fragrance and the witch hazel. As far as fragrance goes, I typically do not like strong fragrances, but if I'm going to do a shower steamer, I'm going to do a shower steamer. I want to be able to smell it. So I use a half a teaspoon of fragrance, which in this case is a mixture of essential oils. It's more like a citrusy, there's bergamot in there, lime, tangerine, orange, and lemon. But I do recommend starting with 1/4 of a teaspoon if you don't like that much fragrance. When adding the witch hazel, I will pour it slowly as I'm mixing with the other hand, and that's just because the witch hazel will activate the baking soda and citric acid combo. For the witch hazel, I do like to start with 1 teaspoon. I do feel like that's a great base. Because humidity, sometimes I have to add more, but I never have to add less. So whether it be a South Carolina winter or a South Carolina summer, I always start with 1 teaspoon of witch hazel, and I do add when I need to. And today I did actually have to add another half a teaspoon of witch hazel. Now I'm going to mix it with my hand just to see if I've added enough witch hazel, and this is the 1 teaspoon of witch hazel that I added. And I do like to mix it with my hand because I want to grip it and see if it falls apart very easily, and if it falls apart easily, then it's going to fall apart in the mold easily as well. And that's how I know that I need to add more witch hazel. But at the same time, you do not want to add too much witch hazel because then it will just fizz and ruin your shower steamers. Now that my mixture can hold together, I'm going to add it to the mold. And the way I do this is I put the calendula at the bottom so that it will end up being on top instead of all throughout, because it's just a decoration. It's no other use. For my desired look, so the height of the shower steamer, I add 1/4 of a cup of the mixture into the mold. And then as you can see, I press that thing down because I don't want it falling apart. And then I will turn it over and push it up so that the shower steamer can come out. And then I tip it over. I know this may not be the best practice, but this is the way I do it, you know? So yeah, I push it up from the bottom And then I turn the whole thing over and I just drop it out very, very close to my tray. And this tray is where I let them dry. Oh, and on the tray is wax paper, but I also use parchment paper and freezer paper. Whichever one is the closest to me, I use them all. Before I show you guys the final results, I do want to shout out my people over on Patreon. Make sure you check out their links in the description below. I ended up letting these sit overnight, but they were truly done way before that. They dried pretty quickly. Here's what they look like in the shower. I place it out of the direct stream of water, but I did put some water on top of it just so you can see it fizz.